everyone. Welcome to my channel, theclassicalowl.com. The woodpeckers. They're quite loud today. Welcome to another video in my series, Homeschooling 101, the ins and outs, coffee chat. Grab a cup of coffee. Mine is getting cold. Should get another cup. So grab another cup of coffee. Come sit on the porch with me. Let's chat. So some of my previous videos have been about the big why. Why would you want to homeschool? And I also talked about where you should homeschool, like your spaces. And I talked about when to homeschool. And that is just a quick master plan on when your school year starts and ends, what an ideal week would look like for you, and what an ideal day would like for you. And now I want to explore, what do you homeschool? And this is the nitty-gritty, because this is about curriculum. And I can't tell you what the right answer is for that. I have been doing this for like 13 years, and I have used a variety of curriculums because my needs have changed and my children have changed over the years. I am going to tell you my top picks for you to explore and see if they work. Here is my number one piece of advice when I talk to moms about choosing curriculum, and it is so overwhelming. There are as many curriculum companies for homeschool families as there are restaurants available to you. It is unreal and it is overwhelming. So, before you even start down the rabbit hole, my advice is to pick something that speaks to you as the mom or the dad or the grandmother, whoever happens to be homeschooling these children. What is going to be easiest for you? What is going to be the most enjoyable for you? Say, no, it's about my kids. No, it's not about me. It's about my kids. No, it's not. Your children have never been asked by their school district what speaks to them. The school district has picked curriculum that is affordable, that they feel like can be implemented across the district, and your teachers do what they feel is easiest and encompasses the best thing for their classroom. They don't go and ask what is the best for your child individually. It doesn't happen. So you don't necessarily have to do that either at the beginning. What is easiest for you? If you need a boxed curriculum that has everything in it from A to Z, packaged, shipped to your door, and that's what you need to use, then that's what you need to use. You can change it later. Let me give you a little bit of advice. Curriculum is expensive, and then we buy it, and we're going to make it work because we spent all this money on it. And that's noble. It's not reality, and you are going to buy things and realize that it's just not going to work, and be okay with that. You're no different than everybody else on the struggle bus. It's okay. So I'm going to give you a little bit of guidance on maybe things that might speak to you. And everything that I am going to share is things that I have personally used and have worked for my family. And they are also from a Christian background. So if you are a quote-unquote secular homeschool, just know that the things that I am sharing is going to have some Christian influence in it. When my children were small, I almost exclusively used sunlight. I love it. I am so glad I did it. I would do it again if I had to start over again. I don't want to start over again. If I did have to start over again, I would 100% use Sunlight. You can, now Sunlight is one of the more expensive curriculums, but we got around some of that cost because I would look at their book list. I would make sure that those books were available at the library or they were downloadable on their Kindles, and I saved a lot of money that way, like a lot of money that way. So I use Sunlight, and I would highly recommend you start there. Why did I like Sunlight? Well, number one, their Bible course was very missions based, and I really appreciated that. There was a lot of stories and books that were included. It is very rich in literature, and that's something that was important to me. I want my kids to have good books, good literature, read. So being rich in literature was very important to me. Books were well thought, well chosen, a lot of Caldecott, Newbery Award winners. The literature books went along with the history lessons. So if history was talking about George Washington, one of the literature books was about a colonial piece. And so it worked together. And I really liked how everything was very cohesive. It was easy to use. The teaching guide is extremely easy to follow, yet very easy to adapt if I wanted to change something or add something, take something out, add something. Very, very easy to do. So I would look at Sunlight. I really enjoyed it. I know my kids did. If you want something a little more workbook based, you could look at Alpha and Omega Publishing. They have life packs. They are basically, every chapter is in a booklet. And so they would do reading, and then they would fill out questions. And then they would get another pack after they passed their test. They would do reading, they would answer questions. It is fairly inexpensive. I don't recommend it because I don't want to teach from a workbook from. They also have Monarch, which is completely online. There are interactive videos. They grade things for you. They keep your records. We used Monarch for several things over the years, and yeah, it's something that you can look into and do. It's worth a good look at. My third choice would be for math, just math. I would recommend looking at teaching textbooks. It is video based. It is a subscription. It grades for you. It explains the lessons quite well, and my kids did really well with teaching textbooks from, like, I think we started in like 5th grade math, and I've used them all the way up through pre-calculus so far. It's math. It's good. Do it. Try it. See what you think. I'm pretty sure there's a free trial. For writing, well, it's no surprise since I am a registered instructor for this curriculum company. I'm going to recommend IEW, Institute for Excellence in Writing. All of their stuff's wonderful. So look at IEW.com for their writing curriculum. When they get into middle school, they have fabulous writing programs that are based around Narnia or history, ancient history, American history. So they are not only, like I said, they're cohesive in the fact that they do history products, plus the literature, plus writing, plus grammar. And Fix-It Grammar from IEW is a fabulous way to teach your kids grammar. Basically, they are going to read a story, a real story for the school year, such as Little Mermaid. Not the Disney Little Mermaid, like legit Little Mermaid. And they are going to take a sentence a day, and they are going to pick out what parts of speech they need to know about that. And they're going to rewrite it. I used Fix-It Grammar for not only learning parts of speech and good sentence structures, which they're going to need as they go further on. I also used it for vocabulary work because it uses extensive vocabulary. And I also used it for handwriting practice because I did teach my children cursive, and they were forced to write in cursive for that stuff. So now let's moving on to upper levels for high school. Knotgrass has a very good economics, government curriculum. There's not a whole lot of bells and whistles, but they also incorporate literature into it. So I remember that with government curriculum, they have you read different autobiographies of presidents. So I think my kids read about Calvin Coolidge. They read his autobiography. They also read and Teddy Roosevelt's. For science, your options in elementary science are pretty vast. The sunlight science is fine for elementary. I think the older it got, I supplemented more. Your two most popular science curriculums are going to be Apologia and Berean. Berean is Dr. J. Weil, and he's the guy who actually wrote the original Apologia curriculum. So it's similar. I love his stuff. Apologia has online classes that when my kids got older, like my daughter just did the Apologia online chemistry class, so she had to be in class online once a week for an hour and a half, and then she would do the work at home the rest of the time. They did the tests, they did the assessments and things that she would turn in, so that helped me out a lot. So those are the two science curriculums that I would recommend doing. And I would be remiss if I did not mention Classical Conversations. So I am a director for our local Classical Conversations community here in the greater St. Louis area. We have participated in Classical Conversations for 3 years with my daughter, and we're very pleased with it. There are pros and cons to the program, as cons being you're kind of pigeonholed into you have to use this particular curriculum and do this particular thing because they meet once a week and you need to be with your class, doing the same things. That's kind of the point. You work for 4 days, and then on a 5th day you come together and you have conversations about what you have all been doing the past week. They are heavy into memorization. They do Latin, they do logic, philosophy, all of the core subjects. There's a lot of public speaking and presentations. So it is definitely something that you should check out and see if you have a local community. Just the camaraderie that you have with the other families is worth it, I'm telling you. So please check out Classical Conversations. It's kind of like a co-op. Not really, kind of. It's kind of like a co-op. So think about that. Definitely check them out. You can check the link below and you can see if there's a community near your zip code. I'm sure there is. So for what it's worth, these are really good places to start your journey because it is a rabbit hole that you're going to deep dive into to try to find the right thing. And always look at Teachers Pay Teachers. There are so many wonderful resources. It's Etsy for teachers, Etsy for homeschoolers, for lesson plans and ideas. There are free things on there too, not things that you just have to pay for. And what you do pay for is literally only a couple of dollars. Like my Latin crosswords on Teachers Pay Teachers are great reviews for beginning Latin. I charge like $2.50. That's it. And some of them are free. So go in there and look. But I'm not the only teacher on there. I'm saying go on to Teachers Pay Teachers. Find some resources. It'll change your life. Just start. Find something, order it, and just start. it'll be amazing how everything will work together, flow together once you get going. Momentum will build, I promise. Give yourself grace, give your kids grace. This is a great journey. You're doing something wonderful for your family, I promise you. Sapere Aude, dare to be wise today.